Hello, my name is Hulya Onel and I'm a naturalist at Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park, which is one of Caddo Parish parks. Welcome back to introduction to acrylic painting. We're going to paint a sunrise in the mountains. It will be something like this. As usual, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but that's what we will do. The colors we're going to be using is permanent black, titanium white, cadmium blue, cadmium red hue, med yellow, medium, and Prussian blue. And the brushes we will need will be, of course, the liner, the angler brush. This is 1.5, and 12, number 12 filbert. So this is all you're gonna need. Have your napkins and your water, and we're gonna start our painting. It's gonna be very light, very, very bright. So let's say here is the horizon. Okay. A little bit higher than, this is the middle, just a tad higher than the middle. So I'm going to put the sun here. This is very, very light color, maybe very bright yellow. You might not see it. I'm gonna kind of start painting around it. And a little bit now reddish, peach color, not red, not orange, but peach. For that we need a little more yellow and a little bit more white. Peach color. And paint the rest of the sky. I'm gonna make this white to blend in a little bit towards the edges, so it won't be strict line. Oops. Lighter color. This lighter yellow, as it goes away from the sun, it gets darker, but around the sun, it is kind of I'm gonna have to take a little bit more yellow. Make this a bit lighter this way. I'm going to put some white because I think the sun is getting narrower. This is a little bit, let's make it shine outward. Let's not lose the I have to clean my brush, so I want it. With a clean brush, I'm trying to blend in the white with the surrounding color. Okay, so it will, oops, happen gradually. Like I always say, don't worry about making mistakes. When your paint dries, you can always paint over it. It doesn't have to be perfect in the first place. You can paint over and over until you like it. I just don't want this middle part, the brightest part of the sun, disappear. And I'm gonna paint the rest of the sky with, let's see, the blues. Let's try the blues. Some kind of blue it will be. I put the Prussian blue. Let's put some black on our palette because we're going to be needing it all the time. So here I have black and Prussian blue and of course white. I'm going to make light blue. Not too light. I'm gonna take a tad of black and mix it here. It's not, I'm missing still blues. It's not straight blue, but grayish blue. I'm mixing more blues, okay, so it's good. This is a good one. See, this color right here is a good one. So let's paint the edges like in the picture. Oops, whoa, too dark. I'm gonna need to make this a little bit lighter with white. Add some white to this blue. Yes, this is better. I wash my brush, put it aside. Now I'm gonna use this blue filbert. Filbert is, I think, makes it easier to make it kind of look fluffy. Okay, now we're gonna paint this peachy color in different tones. I'm gonna keep making it darker and lighter using, it will be like shades of peach. You can, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. It can be lighter or darker as you wish. We're just gonna blend in these edges. Don't press your brush too hard because you want to blend in these edges. You know, you don't want straight lines in the clouds. Just lightly, don't press too hard. your brush. And we're using the tones of peachy color with red, yellow that we mixed. If you add more red, it will be peachier. If you add yellow, it will be lighter. So don't cover your sunrise though. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. As it gets closer to the sun, it should be lighter. Okay, let me correct this edge. This is not good. It is too abrupt dark. I'm gonna use some lighter, much lighter color to get rid of that abrupt change. It has to be lighter here. It can't be like that. Oops. I'm trying to get rid of these edges. Darker. It's kind of like fill in between the blues. I'm not painting over the blues because these are kind of like feathery clouds that are hit by the redness of the sun. I don't like this part here. I need to get rid of this line. Let me put some very, very light yellow. I wash my brush. See, this line here isn't good. It's too close to the sun. Let's just put white here just to get rid of that abrupt line and make the sun. I'm gonna put some yellow there, just to keep it. That yellow blending with the rest. I'm gonna put some white to keep this not so changing so abruptly. I'm just barely touching my brush to blend in the surrounding of the sun. Let's make these a little bit more fluffier. Orange, peachy orangey. Mix it with yellow and red. Make it peachy and white. A little bit of white. White peach. It's kind of like clouds are getting out, being hit. Little clouds are being touched by the sun. It can be light and dark. It doesn't have to be homogeneous color. Of course, these are clouds. Some are lighter, some are darker. Just I don't like these abrupt changes, so it has to be kind of. Let's make this bottom part. I will put some white. Let's make this bottom part a little bit lighter, like this corner of the picture here. If you look at that picture, I'm just brushing over very lightly all these clouds. Since this is going to be coming from beyond the mountains, let's make this part as if it is coming up. Okay, now we're going to do the gradually, so it starts, the mountains start with really pinkish because the sun is hitting this part, and then lighter blue, darker blue, much darker blue, almost black. So it gives a sense of depth. So now we're going to, let's draw our mountains with the lighter blue. I'm going to use this Prussian blue that I used, just adding more white to make it the lightest. Okay? Make your color the lightest here. We're gonna make it gradually lightest, and it will go gradually darker as the mountain. So we're gonna paint the first one here. Let's just make the arrangements of the mountains. So it's going to be kind of like this, like this, like this. Okay. And then let me use a bigger brush for this. So the angular brush, I had brought one big and smaller. This will be for the trees, the tip of the trees, but for now I'm using this one here, 1.5 inches. Okay. Now the last part will be the darkest. I will add black to this Persian blue. The closer the mountains get, the darker they become. I'm gonna make these edges a little bit more straight. This is blue, just the blue itself here. This part is the lightest, so I'm going to add a little bit more whitish color there to make this really far away looking. And I'm going to get rid of these blurry edges in the meantime. I'm mixing white with the Prussian blue as light as possible. I'm trying to make this as light as possible. I used too much water, that's why it is kind of disappearing here. A little bit more. I need a little bit bluer. I need the tops a little bit bluer because I'm gonna put whites at the edges to make it look misty. So the top parts, see, these are good for making the edges, but filbert is better for the rest because it won't leave lines. Filbert doesn't leave lines. If you want to make soft touches like here, use less water, dry your, my brush is too wet, that's why it is taking away the paint. I just don't want that. I want the color to stay. So I'm barely touching my brush to make it stop, take the paint away. I'm just putting more paint on my brush and try to keep the same coloration on this side towards the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to work on this side. Again, I'm going to use my angle brush. It's a little bit dark. This was darker blue. Kind of like grayish still. I'm going to use my filbert again to get rid of these brush strokes at the bottom of this patch here. And I'm lightly touching my, oops, I touched the black at the bottom. Very lightly, tip of the brush almost. I'm touching, and this black at the bottom is not dry, so it keeps coming up. Now I'm gonna do this part, this patch, really blue, just the Prussian blue, nothing else added to it, just the blue itself, very dark blue. Then I'm gonna paint the bottom to get rid of the brush strokes like this. This is the darkest blue. After that it becomes, this is black with blue. This is almost black. And black with blue. This is black with blue, this part. I'm going to paint the bottom part of my canvas. This part is totally blue. I mean totally black. This is the darkest part of the picture. Painting, I mean. Okay, now, before we continue, we're going to do the mist, and then we're going to do the mist, and then we're going to paint these bigger trees closest to us. Okay, now to do the mist, take your filbert or around the, well, filbert is good. I don't want a lot of color, so I'm gonna just add, oops, too much. It needs to be kind of like a cloud, very light. I'm touching my brush very, very lightly, so I'm gonna follow this, the edges. We're using white here, but you have to touch your brush very lightly. This is the misty look. And here too. Now we're gonna put the mist here, like this. I'm taking white on my brush, and I'm touching my brush very lightly to the painting. I don't want to pick up any paint, I just want to leave my white, kind of like dusty. I'm just using the white right now. And on this side, oops, too much white. Okay, now I'm going to take this smaller angular brush to do the tips of the trees, to make them kind of like pine trees. Just extensions of I will put some more blue. I'm out of blue here. Just blend your colors again to add. It has to be the same color of the base, of course. You can't paint the trees in a different color. Okay, so, oops, it has to be a little bit darker than that. Okay, this brush is still too big for this detail. I need a very small, the smallest filbert. Use whichever is almost a liner. Yes, use a liner for these tip of the trees. You have to make them like, kind of like pine tree tops. The ones in the far away, in the distance, are not going to be very detailed. So just make them less detailed, more like trees. That's it. Just give the impression every so often the detail of a bigger tree, not all of the trees. Choose a big one like this one and make it kind of like a, just every once in a while, not all of them. Darker one here too. They are closer, so you will have to make it a little bit more visible than others, than these, and maybe taller a little bit. Again, not all of them, but kind of pick and choose a spot. Dark blue. It's going to be darkest blue. Don't make it lighter than the background. Okay, now here, let's do it here too. A few more trees on this side as it's coming down. Here is the darkest part with the Prussian blue with black. I mixed to make that color really dark. So I'm going to make some trees here. So as you see, the closer trees now are, we're doing these now, are bigger, and then the black ones will be really big trees. To be straight, some of them are tilted to the side. This part is black with blue, the darkest. I made this blue, Prussian blue, darker. And then on this side, at the bottom, it's pure black. Now I'm gonna do the really big trees. Visible ones, kind of like we see them from right here. It's right here. This is with black. This tree, I'm painting these trees with black now. First I put kind of opposite, and then I try to fill in between the branches to make it look. I'm gonna paint a little bit more visible trees here because these are, since they are closest, they're gonna be most visible ones. They can overlap the ones on behind. Small and big, doesn't have to be all same size. Shorter and long, taller trees. Just spread your trees wherever you like. Doesn't have to be exactly where I put my trees. This is a forest. Okay. I'm gonna make this bottom a little bit even more even. And I want to make a little bit mistier. So let me add, kind of like, here's the deepest part of the valley. You know, where does the mist accumulate? At the bottom of the valley, right? But I have to be very careful now. I don't want to just, it should be just like a cloud almost. I'm just kind of lightly touching my brush. Let's add some reddish here so the sun will, as if the sunlight is hitting this top part with our peachy red, yellow, and very, very light red, yellow, and white. Sorry for that. Red, yellow, and white. Put a little bit more yellow. We're going back to that peach color, very light. I'm gonna touch some of this forest here in some parts, okay? Not everywhere, but, and very light. Let's see. I'm touching very lightly to this forest here. Straight down lines. I'm painting over very straight and touching very lightly. And I'm gonna use some white to make the bottom part. Oops, too much white. Okay, I messed it up here. I'm trying to get rid of this mess now. I'm touching very lightly. If you haven't messed up, don't worry about it. Okay, you can put your name here. Here is our painting. Sunset in the misty forest. Thanks for joining me in this acrylic painting program. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed it.